Hey guys, welcome back to Just Fixing Garage. I'm Justin. Today we've got some more SRT-4 stuff going on. Unfortunately, I don't have much of a project update for the Project Silverstorm. I do have another project that I'm starting with another neon that I'll go over today and what I've done. Essentially, I just bought another one, so this will be number 3. It was a really cheap deal, so that's why I bought it. So we're going to go over that neon today and show you. And then in the near future, you should see some more updates for Project Silverstorm. I did paint the motor. I might post that video, but it didn't turn out very good. But anyway, let's go check out this new car I bought and see what we're gonna do with it. All right guys, here she is. It is a 2003 SRT-4, Dodge Neon, 2.4 turbocharged, just like all the other ones. This car got posted to one of the groups, I think in the Pennsylvania neon group. Some of you guys have probably saw it. I think the post was like, oh, 10K, or really we're just taking offers. So I did go up and look at this car within like a week of it being posted. Obviously, there's plenty of problems with it. The main thing they mentioned was that the rear main seal is leaking. I haven't validated that yet, but I know it's puking oil. We've got some dents in the door. We're starting to get some quarter rust on this side. Obviously it's sat for years. From the previous owner, and then we've got some pretty bad rot here. Now I do actually have a piece that can replace this, so that's kind of a good thing that it came with. But let me give you some backstory on this. So talking to the owner, they had just done a new clutch. Everything was running good with it. They drove it for a bit, and while they did the clutch, they did not do the rear main seal, is what they told me. And then they found it to be leaking within a few, weeks or months after that. And they were so frustrated with it, being it's a neon, you're gonna get frustrated. They decided to park it. So they parked it, they sat it sat for years. The only reason they actually posted it to sell was because they wanted to redo their driveway, and this thing had been sitting for 5 years. That's pretty evident by, looking at how dry rotted these tires are. They're completely shot, super old, and they were flattened and such. So I'm gonna get this car inside to show you everything we know about it and give you the surprise that it does run, and actually it can drive under its own power. So let me do that, and I'll tell you how much I paid and go through how I think that was a fair deal. So let me move it inside.
It's counting at the top. Yeah, you're good.
All right, guys. So obviously, like I said, this moves under its own power. It's got a carbon fiber hood that's filled with water because it's been sitting out here. I've had this for almost a month now and I haven't touched it. So when I got it, the battery was dead. Put a new battery in it, didn't turn over. I was like, man, this is really weird. But by hooking a ground jumper to the block, it started. So essentially this has a bad ground. I'm going to dive into that later, but I just did this enough so I can get it started. So it will start, it just pukes oil. I'm going to drive it into the lift, and then we're going to check it out on there and see what it needs. I got it now. All right, let's move it. Unplug that. All right guys, you saw it moves on its own power. It's got at least first and reverse. That's what I've been able to test so far. If I let it sit at idle, there's a huge puddle where likely a rear main seal leak would be. I'm going to diagnose that later, but I just want to kind of give you a quick run around on this car, go over what I paid, what I know is wrong with it, and things that I would work on. Again, I haven't decided fully if this is a parts car or not. I think I'm going to end up fixing this one because honestly, for how cheap it is, it's kind of like a fun budget build versus my big budget build. So I'll take you around, show you everything I know, then we'll put it on the lift, show you everything there, and we'll see what you guys think. See if I got a good deal for it, see if it's worth it. And then in a future video, hopefully you'll see me fix this leak and we'll go for a drive. So let's get into it again. All right guys, let's talk about under the hood in the engine bay. Things are mostly stock. Looks like they have a solid mount mounted to here. I don't know what brand it is. It might be something generic. We've got a belt that looks like it's been eaten or falling off with this power steering pump. Not sure why. Factory style radiator. Everything here looks factory. Not too much has been changed. I'm even pretty sure this is a factory turbo back there. And the only thing they've really added was the engine air intake. It does have, and I think, is it D2? I gotta double check. D2, yeah, D2 coilovers on it, which were just, you know, cool, great. It comes with that. I think this was an maybe HKS or something blow off valve. I have to look. I can't remember. I honestly just saw that it was aftermarket and that it works and everything there. Everything else seems pretty factory. Shifter cables are all in good shape. Everything seems fine. So from under the bay, it's got the typical, you know, botched wiring. This has, I believe, a watt box in it. So instead of getting the direct plug-in kit, they did the splicing, which if I had a choice, I wouldn't have done. Oh, I guess that needs to be plugged in. That might be why it was running rough. A lot of stuff. You know, essentially I need to come into here and lift it all out, take a look at it and see what's spliced, what wires I should fix and get that going. You know, that's my new battery. We do know that the ground is bad because I can't crank this thing over right now unless I jump a ground cable from here to like the motor block. So wherever these are going, or here, it's completely shot. It's not doing its job, which might be the primary reason it's giving me issues. So that's under the engine bay. Again, it moves on its own power. That seems good. It's got an aftermarket intercooler, some eBay cheap one, I'm sure. I don't think it's anything fancy, but hey, you know, it's aftermarket. I didn't see any damage as if it's been in an accident. So from here, this all looks good. So I'm gonna go around the body and show you everything wrong. Then we'll look at the interior and then we're gonna put it up on the lift and check it out there and then see if we got a good deal or not after I tell you what I paid. All right, so looked at the engine. Let's start looking at the passenger side of the car on the outside. From out here, factory rims, they were plasti dipped. I know this because I started peeling it on some of the other wheels. We've got some kind of drilled and slotted rotors. They're probably shot, you know, factory calipers, nothing amazing here. We do have, you know, good condition doors, like no dent on this side, where you can see we're getting all this pink like dots and going bad. And here's where it gets bad, right? So this is probably the worst thing I've seen on the car, and it is rust in this quarter. However, it's solid here. It's still solid here. It's not rotted all the way back. So I've seen cars where they have this completely rotted out. It's not the case for this one, it's just this piece. And what's cool about that is, I don't have it open, but he already had from a junkyard a section cut out for this so that he could replace this. Now, whether I fix it that way or not, I don't know. I may go to Always Something Garage where you saw me with Ron and Caleb, where we'll actually end up trying to fix this if this car does prove to be fixable or worth it. So in the back, we'll keep going. We've got the plastic dip rims again. I started peeling it. I really wanted a set of factory rims and I didn't actually have any, so this was perfect. You know, sometimes I think about cars when I buy them just by parts. And in this case, this was a good buy for that. Again, drilled and slotted rotors in the back, probably scrapped now at this point. So that'll get us to the back. So I think these are the depot tail lights. I'm not 100% sure. They look like they're in pretty good shape, just dirty. So that was a win, right? Even if they're only 50 to 100 bucks used, I don't have to buy them. You can see we've got a bunch of like algae and stuff growing on this. This car sat for years.
Looks good.
Yeah, I mean, for how long it sat, it doesn't look terrible, I guess. And then there's, I think this is more plasti dip on this bumper, on this rear deck. I'll probably take that off. And then it does have, I think it's the MPX dual exhaust, 3-inch. I'll see that more on the lift. And then there's this carbon fiber piece. Again, I don't care too much for this. I might take it off and just see what it looks like. If it cleans up nice, I could see keeping it. It does kind of have a cool look to it. I don't see a lot of neons with it. Maybe replace the screws with ones that aren't rusty or something like that. But all in all, this has been good so far. We'll move on to our driver's side. On this side, we do have some damage to the door. Looks like it got a dent. Maybe someone tried to push it out. And then we've got some rust starting here. I might be able to shave that back and it'd be clean because, again, it's not fully rotted out on the inside. This is very early stage. This is when you can probably fix it. And then moving forward, got a little ding in the door. And then both the front fenders, I don't know if he was going for a carbon fiber look or what. It looks like they were spray painted or something, and there's red under it. I've got new fenders if I want to replace it. we'll see how that goes. This all depends on what it looks like up in the air, and then if I'll validate in a future video what the actual problem is with that seal and the ground, and see if I can get this thing driving maybe in the next week or two. All right, so let's go look at the inside and see what more goodies came with this. All right, guys, we are inside the car. Just to mention, it has 129,952 miles. I did buy this from the second owner. I actually have the original bill of sale in the glove box, which was pretty cool. As far as gauges go, they did replace this boost gauge. Factory one with something else. I didn't look at the brand. Then we do have the AEM air fuel ratio, which was working. It told me we were running like perfect, like 14.7, 14.5, somewhere around there. Unfortunately, I went through and found all the wiring to be a mess in here, which is pretty normal. I'll have to go in and clean that up. It's just typical, you know, buying a Neon, you're gonna get some spliced wiring, some crazy stuff. And then under here, I don't know if you can see, there is a watt box under there, which I found accidentally. I didn't even know they had it. So interior wise, everything's pretty good. Typical steering wheel problems. We got this dents in the seat. Parts that it came with, it has new tie rod ends. It has a new rear main seal, which is kind of goes with the story of had a seal leak. It has a new Mopar oil filter. Hopefully that's the right one. I'll have to check. The MO452. The rear view mirror that fell off, it's here. The cover for that piece, the adjustments for the coilovers, and then of course it seems like every Neon I buy has a Predator tuner, which it's cool. It comes with it. I'm sure it's tuned or whatever the guy did. Passenger seat's in good shape. It actually doesn't have any cracks to it. It's just the driver's side. It did come with 4 tires, a gauge pod. It had brand new sway bars that were like red and looked like they were in good shape. And then it also came with a brand new DCR 5-layer head gasket, and it came with a brand new AGP shift fork. And I don't know if you've done the math, that's about $300 in brand new parts. So it's sad because I literally, 2 weeks before buying this car and finding that out, I had bought a brand new 5-layer head gasket from DCR, as well as an AGP shift fork from Model Performance. So if I would have known that, that would have saved me $300. So I know you're probably wondering, okay, so how much did I spend on this car and was it worth it? Well, before I do that, let's go look at the underside of the car, see what it has, see what's going on, and then I'll tell you what I paid. And keep in mind the market, this is 2022, car market's pretty high. The Neons have been super hot items. People are selling clean rollers for $2 grand. I mean, it's insane. But let's look at the underside and kind of summarize things and see what you think. See if I got a good deal. All right, we're getting ready to get in the air. This thing's kind of been a bear. It's so low in the front, it's rubbing. I don't know if the coilover is just super low adjusted or what, but we're good to lift it now. Yeah, all right, let's see what we're getting into. Obviously we have the bumper off already. So what we're looking for is really bad structural rust and any other issues that we're gonna have to deal with. Watch out, doggy. And one is, I know that is freaking rubbing like crazy up there. And I don't know if it's just because the tires, I think it's because the tire is so screwed up that it's rubbing up there.
See it right there?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. But it's not doing that on the other side. It's just really close. So we'll have to see what's up with that. Lower control arms don't look terrible.
Rust in the frame looks pretty good. It's not bad.
Yeah, we're not seeing anything.
Holes or anything like that.
So this is what you generally want to look for, Kev, on these, is you're looking right here. You want to see if this is completely rotted out. Look, I've got some rust here. I don't know how bad yet. Looks like it could be a decent amount of rust, so it might need some.
Bit here.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. So it looks like the rockers are pretty rough, but definitely fixable. All right, like I said, the other car I have in here, this is completely gone. There's like, you put your fist through here.
The one we looked at together, that was like 4.5 hours away or something. That one was terrible. It just looked like somebody repeatedly hit it with a hammer.
So check this out, guys. This isn't what I was expecting for the exhaust. So I guess he had a cutout on here at some point.
What's that for?
Yeah, I don't know what the idea that was. What would that be used for? Unless they have like an electronic dump on it.
That's terrible welding as well.
Yeah.
So I got a guy who can do it cheaper.
Yeah, look at that. Look at those booger
Oh,
yeah.
God.
No, got a porosity in it. That's insane.
This is funny looking.
That's normal, yeah. This was one of the sway bars he had put in.
That looks good.
Yeah.
The frame looks really nice, really.
Yeah, the frame's solid. Behind here, it's not fully rusted out. So all in all, what I would call for this, yeah, even that's in there. Let me look at the fuel pump. Looks like it's probably factory. I don't think anything's been done with it.
These frame rails look
yeah,
nice.
So
somebody's coded this. So
I feel like it comes from the factory like that. I've seen a lot of them like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
That's good.
Yeah, so summarize, looks like the pinch welds are beat up a little bit. The rocker is going to need to be fixed. There's an $80 kit you can buy to overlay this if it's not in terrible shape, which mine is not. It's probably salvageable. This exhaust, I actually looking at it, I'm not sure I'd even use this one. I might. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with it. It just looks like complete dog crap.
Nobody looks under there.
Yeah, nobody looks under it. Let's see, we've got it melted. Look at this. We've got another 2 sensor wire. It looks like it's completely melting.
Holy moly.
Yeah. We've got that all twisted up. This is just home DIY crap.
These wires look tore up right here.
Yeah.
Getting too hot, overheating.
Yeah. Otherwise, though, like, it's not as bad as it could be for a car that, for, you know, I'll tell you what I paid at the end, but for what it is, I mean, worst case scenario is I just part it out.
I'm dying to
get my money back.
Over here.
Yeah, so let's talk about the leak. You can see on the ground, we've been stepping in it, but we know our oil leak is coming from around here. And other than seeing it puke out right here, I don't know where that leak's coming from. I'm going to look up, see if maybe it's oil pressure sensor, but something tells me, as he mentioned, it's probably the rear main seal. That would make sense why it's puking oil, just puking it out right out of there. I mean, it looks like it's...
Where is the rear main seal? The transmission is...
Yeah, and that might even be like coolant, or it's oil and it's just water. I guess it's probably water. We dumped a lot of water down this. So, yeah, hard to say for sure. Something tells me, though, we've got a problem with the rear main seal. I'll try to get a better look at it if I take the battery tray out and see. Otherwise, guys, I mean, you see what we got? Really a kind of a half-ass exhaust. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that. I guess I could have it cleaned up since, like, you know, everything else is good here, the flanges and whatnot. All in all, it's not bad. So let me sit down. I'll summarize for you everything with the car that we know about. And again, it runs and drives, and then see what you guys think about it being a good deal or not, and what I should do with this. If I do happen to want to fix this up and like make it really good, I'd probably call it like Red Dead Redemption, you know, it coming back to life after sitting for so long, which would be cool to me. Like, I like these projects, especially when it's my own cars. I'm tired of working on other people's stuff. Ugh. But my own cars are fun, and this one seems like it could be pretty good. So let's summarize and end the video out. All right, so summarize. So this car, you wanna know what I paid for it? Paid $1,750 as it sat. It's sat for a long time. Let me summarize some of the good things about it. One, it has some nice aftermarket coilovers that, if they're good shape, I figure they're worth a few hundred, considering they're about 1,000 new. Came with a $220 AGP shift fork that was brand new in the box from Modern Performance. Came with a brand new DCR 5-layer gasket, which goes for around $90 right now. It's got the factory rims I was looking for. It does have a usable exhaust. It has a nice blow-off valve. Has a running motor, transmission that seems to be shifting okay so far. There is, let's see, a couple other good things. It does have some aftermarket gauges that even if I part this out, I could take those 2 gauges and put them into my other build. That might save me $200 or $300 in buying them new. I mean, the money kind of adds up and adds up. So for $1,750, if you want to break it down on, is it worth it? Let's say I get $200, $150 for factory rims, takes me down to like $1,600. Let's say I sold the fork for $150, that's $70 less than brand new, even though it is brand new. You know, I take it down to like $1,520. We'll say we're down to $1,500 with just selling the new fork, the new DCR thing, and the rims, right? So that leaves us with an engine that works, a transmission that works, all the factory parts you can think of, 2 aftermarket gauges, an aftermarket blow-off valve that goes for $200 new, an exhaust that is functional, whether it's not great, you know, even if you just take $50 here, $100 there, a passenger seat that's mint, you know, depot tail lights, you know, all these things add up where if I wanted to part it out, I could get well over what I paid, in my opinion. Now, feel free to leave some comments, let me know what you guys think. on if you would have bought this for $1,750 or not. Sure, I wanted to get it for $1,500, but honestly, I know there was actually a lot of people interested. There's plenty of people. I mean, his phone had blown up. He'd even shown me that like tons of people kept saying they wanted to come and they would offer him like $1,500. So I went up there, no bullshit, offered him $1,750 cash that day, got the title signed over because this came from Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania laws are a little different. You actually need to go to like get it notarized when you buy a vehicle from there. So we went to a notary, we got it all signed over, and then I picked the car up the next week thanks to a friend of mine, Cody, with his trailer. And looking at it, would I love for it to be rust-free? Sure, but rust-free rollers go for, I'm seeing $2,000 now. It's completely insane. Because I only paid $750 for that roller back there, and it's rust-free. It needs paint, but there's no rust. Nothing in the rockers, nothing. It's perfectly mint. So I think I got a good deal. You know, feel free to leave your opinions. If I look into this, and I'm gonna have a future video where I try to fix the leak and see if I can start driving it, because I would like to get this on the road and see how it does. If it seems like it's good, I might, my plan might be to fix some of the rusty spots, because once you fix the rust, you're usually good to go. And then I have another motor in the back that I've been considering doing like a more factory rebuild, not doing a big budget build like the one you saw maybe you saw in a recent video, so that I can have a motor ready to swap in. So anyway, guys, I hope this was cool for you. You saw what I'm working on. If you want to see more for this one, again, if I save it, it's gonna be like Red Dead Redemption. I'll call it that. Come up with a silly name for the project, but I can't do Red Sled. I can't do. There's a couple one I know Skittles Fabs is doing. I forget, Red Lady or something. I forget, but they all got cool names for red ones. I got 2 silvers for Silver Storm. I got a red one. So hopefully this will work out good. So again, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna have more for this one. The next video I post for it's probably gonna be checking out to see if that rear main seal is indeed leaking and likely dropping the trans and fixing it. And if that goes well, I'm gonna give it a once over, swap some rims from another one of my cars here, and try to drive it. Because it does have brakes, it does have clutch, everything feels good about it. I think it just has a terrible oil leak and it's gonna need some TLC. So thanks again, guys. I'm out of here. See ya.